Alright guys, it's Bulls. Just a really quick little intro here. Unfortunately, my recording of this battle messed up. So it's going to have to be a post-com instead of a live com, which is kind of annoying for me because I was really enjoying doing my live comms, and some of my reactions in this battle are great. But yeah, I'm sure you'll enjoy the battle anyway. Alright guys, what's up? It is Bulbs here. I am back after a short little hiatus from the Hoenn Draft League Season 2. I know that a lot of the only people who watch these videos are people from the league, and they are already aware of my situation, but I just feel like breezing through it anyway. I haven't uploaded, haven't done any battles, haven't participated in this league for the last few weeks. I've just had a lot of stuff going on at home, a lot of distractions, a lot of, unfortunately, things that had to take precedence, but I'm back. Beard's gone, doing some stupid Movember effort, and yeah, this battle is my week 4 battle. I haven't done my week 3 one yet, basically with me pushing off the league for a few weeks. It meant a couple battles like stockpiled up. So this week I've got to do my weeks 3, 4 and 5 battles. And basically just because of the way the scheduling works, my week 4 opponent has been free this week before my week 3 opponent, so I'm just going to do the week 4 battle first, then the week 3 one. It's not going to make any massive difference in the long run at all. So, with no further ado, let's look into our week 4 opponents, who are the Kansas City Kingdras, coached by Clockwork. Another coach, a little bit like Maui, who I have got a fair bit of history with. We've been in multiple leagues together for the last probably, 3 or 4 years? 5 years? Probably about 4 or 5 years. There's a lot of pressure riding on me in this battle in particular. Not to draw too much attention to it, because he's an amazing battler, like, regardless. Whether through luck or through skill or through whatever, I am undefeated against Clockwork. I don't know off the top of my head how many battles we've played. Probably 4 or 5, I would have thought, maybe more. Yeah, I've beaten him every single time, and that might sound like it puts me at an advantage, but I cannot stress that he's a really good battler, so it's not like I'm worlds better than him or anything, but there is the added pressure of me having to keep that record up. It takes a bit of pressure off his shoulders, because if he's lost to me so many times in the past, then there's zero expectation on his shoulders, whereas for me, I'd really like to keep that record up. So I'm going to be really, really tense and nervous throughout this battle, probably more than a lot of the other battles that we're going to be doing this season. His team is as follows. We've got the Rillaboom, Volcanion, Duraludon, Ribombee, Cloyster, Vivillon, Galarian, Slowbro, Palossand, Mega Ampharos, Porygon 2, and Terrakion. He's got a really good Fire Water Dragon? No. He's got a really good Fire-Water Grass core in Rillaboom and the Volcanion, which is obviously the Fire-Water combo. His Fairy Dragon Steel is also contained within 2 Pokemon, with Duraludon and Ribombee, although Mega Ampharos does bulk that out. Yeah, it's a concerning team for sure. He's got a couple gaps in his speed tiers, which I hope to exploit, and I think that he's got a little bit of a reliance on Pokemon like Ribombee to set up his sticky webs and stuff like that, so I've got to make sure I've got some good hazard removers on me. So yeah, that's his team. I'm just going to bring up mine very quickly here, just as a small little reminder for you guys. I haven't made any trades yet. I did want to make trades a couple of weeks ago, but then all this stuff just got in the way. I will make my trades at some point, because I've realised I can fix my team up quite well. I just haven't got around to doing it yet. But my team, as it stands at the moment: Naganadel, Clefable, Excadrill, Landorus Incarnate, Sandaconda, Mantine, Incineroar, Vileplume, Electabuzz, Megabanette, and Primeape. It's a good team. We got obviously 1 win, 1 loss under the belt, and hopefully we can make it 2 wins with this battle coming up. On that note, let's absolutely get into my team for this week, week 4 against Kansas City Kingdras. I am not going to lie to you guys, I have not been, I don't feel as confident in this team as I would normally. I kind of rushed through the team build just a little bit. Like I say, I'm back in this league now. My head's still a little bit all over the place, and unfortunately the Pokemon League is not my priority at the moment, so I've kind of like mashed this thing together. Hopefully we do really well with it. I'm still relatively confident in it. I just haven't put in as much delicate thought in this match, in this team build, as I have for others. But anyway, I'm going to lead off with the Excadrill. He doesn't really have too many switch-ins to an Excadrill. Just going through his team, obviously Ribombee, Terrakion, Duraludon, Volcanion, Mega Ampharos, and Galarian Slowbro all take super effective damage from stabs alone. I could also bring the Rock Slide for stuff like the for the Vivillon, but like Vivillon's not going to take an Iron Head anyway. Rillaboom might cause a bit of a problem, which is why I've gone for the high horsepower on this set over the Earthquake. Obviously, grassy terrain will halve the damage of an Earthquake, and I don't want that. So high horsepower, I believe it's only 5. It's only 5 base power less than Earthquake, and it's really going to save me because he's probably going to bring in Rillaboom as a hard counter to Excadrill. So on that, I think, can I learn Poison Jab? It's tempting to bring the Poison Jab, but I think that I'm really going to rely on hopefully bringing in Excadrill on the Galarian Slowbro, maybe on the Porygon, something that can't really do too much to me, and I can just set up the sub either as he attacks and doesn't break it, or on the switch. If I can get up a free Swords Dance, basically I can either sweep or at the very least knock out one of his Pokemon. I went for the Sandrush set because my next Pokemon is the Polycobra. I'm finally doing it. I'm going to bring the Sand Spit Sandaconda. I know that Sand Spit is only effective when I get hit, and so he might want to Toxic me, wear me down that way. It's why I'm bringing the Sandstorm as a 4th move, just as a backup in case he doesn't activate the Sand Spit. Obviously got the Smooth Rock to increase the turns of Sandstorm from 5 to 8. Stealth Rock on the Sandaconda, just because obviously I didn't have room for it on the Excadrill. High horsepower against Earthquake for reasons previously discussed, and the Toxic is just there to wear down things that don't get hit by the high horsepower. Fully defensive set. It sort of functions as a basic physical wall on top of the sand that we want to bring out. Next up, we've got Clefable. It's the Calm Mind Magic Guard setup set. It's, it's pretty damn good. Yeah, gone fully physically defensive because obviously when you get Calm Minds up, that'll bulk up the special side, and then we'll turn into a bit of a tank. I've gone for the Moonblast, obviously, for stab. I've gone for the Thunderbolt coverage, because the only things that Moonblast isn't going to do too much damage to is the Volcanion, which resists it, and the Galarian Slowbro, which also resists it. And it was basically just a toss-up of which one, because there's no one move that Clefable can learn that can take on both Galarian Slowbro and the Volcanion, other than maybe like a Hidden Power Ground, but I don't really want that for coverage. So I've basically got to consider what would I rather have the coverage for, and I think Volcanion would just do a little bit more, troublesome for me, because Galarian Slowbro, all it can really do is just Toxic me and stuff like that, and on Magic Guard, so that's absolutely fine. Soft Boil just for reliable recovery. This thing can kind of function as a defensive wall, but it is really there just as a Calm Mind sweeper. Next up, we got the Mantine, same as last week, just a generic special wall. Obviously, Mega Ampharos will just walk through it, but other than that, his special threats include Ribombee, Vivillon, Duraludon potentially, Volcanion, like stuff that Mantine can just absolutely wall. With the Mantine here, with Toxic, Volcanion just does not bother me at all, does not faze me. I should probably check to see if it gets an electric type move, but actually looking at that, I might run Protect on this set just to scout out for electric moves like I did last week. But I feel relatively confident. I reckon I can work my way around it. Toxic is obviously just there to wear things down, general shenanigans like that. Scald for the stab, for the coverage. It might be nice to get burn on something. Defog is there just because obviously Excadrill doesn't have the rapid spin this week, and Roost just for reliable recovery. Pretty standard set, don't need to talk much through that. Water Absorb will also help against the Volcanion. Next we've got the Naganadel. This thing, I'm bringing Choice Specs Naganadel. I am so excited. I really wanted to bring Modest as well, but I do need to bring Timid with 152 EVs in speed, which will allow me to outspeed a Jolly Terrakion. I'm not going to try and EV this thing to outspeed Ribombee. Obviously, I can't outspeed a Timid Ribombee because its base speed is higher. I could outspeed a Modest Ribombee, but I don't see it doing too much to me back. Obviously the Fairy Stab is neutral, but I've got plenty of switch-ins for that. Basically the idea here is to bring in Naganadel on something that's a fair bit slower than it, something like the Galarian Slowbro, pardon me, or like the Volcanion, anything like that. Choice Specs Draco Meteor will OHKO everything on his team, I'm relatively certain, other than obviously the Ribombee. Sludge Wave is exactly the same, it'll do a heavy damage, maybe OHKO anything on his team other than the Duraludon. So, I don't really need a third move for coverage. I don't really need like a Fire Blast or a Heat Wave or anything. Tailwind is there as a third move, just in case the Sandstorm, Sandspit, Sandaconda doesn't quite get pulled off. I can just bring in Nagnavez, go for the Tailwind, that gets knocked out, and I can bring in Tiny for the same effect. U-turn is obviously there just for a bit of switch initiative, really. You know, it's always nice to have a U-turn. Next up, we've got the Amorphophallus, basically just function there as a physical wall, because obviously Polycobra doesn't get any kind of reliable recovery, or any kind of recovery at all. Got no leftovers, got no rest, got no nothing. So this is just more of a reliable physical wall. Yeah, Leech Seed just there for general shenanigans. Don't need the Giga Drain because it doesn't really hit anything the Sludge Bomb doesn't. The only trouble I'm going to have is the Duraludon, but I can Leech Seed it up, I can switch out, I can work around that. Aromatherapy just because I didn't have the Heal Bell on the Clefable, it's always nice to have some kind of a cleric like that. And Strength Sap over the Synthesis because I don't see this thing needing to be staying in too much on Pokemon. It's just going to be really nice to deal with stuff like the Terrakion because we can resist its Fighting Stab and hit it with Strength Sap, stuff like that. Yeah, Effects Support just for general shenanigans because I'm not going to run Chlorophyll. That is basically the team. Now, one of the things that I was saying earlier, I'm not too confident about the makeup of this team. I think that every Pokemon will perform well individually. I don't quite know how the synergy is going to go. I usually go with a lot of bulk and then one Pokemon to sort of have an offensive presence and sweep. I am kind of changing my mind on that because at the moment, again, not to keep going on about it, I'm not in the best headspace right now, and so I'm probably going to make a few more misplays than I usually would, and I don't want to have, say, Excadrill as my only sort of like real Wincon and then misplay and lose it early. So I've basically brought 3 Wincons. I've got the Excadrill, which can set up Swords Dances, get the Sandrush. I've got the Nagnavez, which is just a bomb, it's just a tank, it will nuke things. And I've got the Clefable just as a third setup sweeper. I don't often like bringing that much offensive presence, but I just think it's really going to benefit me if I do misplay a couple times. It's not going to be too detrimental if I do lose a key Pokemon early on. And I genuinely do believe that between Polycobra, Mr. Ray, and Amorphophallus, and the added benefit of Clefable's bulk, I do believe that I've got enough of a wall presence to sort of combat anything that he can really hit me with. The only thing looking at his team for a second time that worries me is the fact that I don't have knockoff on the Porygon 2. For the Porygon 2. And now I am just looking at this because I know that Vileplume gets corrosion, right? As a move, or corrosive gas, sorry, which removes adjacent Pokemon's held item. I just Googled just to make sure that corrosive gas works the way that I think it does, and it does. It basically works as a knockoff that does no damage. I am very tempted to bring a corrosive gas Vileplume for the Porygon 2 because I need some kind of a knockoff presence. And looking at this team, the only other Pokemon that I can get which will learn knockoff is something like Clefable, but I don't want to lose any of those moves. So I'm looking at this. I'm actually going to... Does he have any Pokemon that can really trouble me with hazards? Not really. The Porygon 2 might run Toxic, which would be annoying, and the Galarian Slowbro as well. It's either the Leech Seed or the Aromatherapy. I am actually going to bring in Corrosive Gas, and I think that's really going to catch him off guard because I didn't know that move existed until I drafted Vileplume. You never see it. You never see it. What do I get rid of here? Do I get rid of the Leech Seed or the Aromatherapy? I need the Strength Sap for some form of reliable recovery, and I need the Sludge Bomb, obviously, as an offensive move. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of the Aromatherapy for the Corrosive Gas. And that is going to end this team builder. The next time you'll see me then will be as we are heading into the battle against Clockwork. I'll see you then. Yeah, guys. So yeah, unfortunately, as I did say at the start of the video, my audio recording of the live com messed up. I'm genuinely good about it because some of my reactions were absolutely priceless. Also, even though I've literally only just played this battle really within the last hour or so, so I should remember a lot of my thought processes. It's kind of a shame that you won't get to see all my thought processes because obviously, yeah, that's just a big part of the game. That it's kind of annoying that you're not going to be able to see that. Anyway, I'm sat here. I've got my Barabrith and I've got my cup of tea. So I'm like a proper little Brit right now, living in Wales. So I'll just be nibbling and sipping along as I go. Right. I believe I mentioned in the team builder that on the Vial Plume we swapped out the aromatherapy for the corrosive gas. One more change that I did make is Sandaconda does not learn toxic. Obviously, yeah, that was just a massive oversight on my part. I just literally forgot that not every Pokemon in the world learns toxic in Generation 8. We swapped out the toxic for the Fire Fang just because it provided a little bit more coverage. It hit things like the Ribombee and especially the Vivillon that weren't too troubled by the high horsepower. Anyway, so we go into the battle. My first reaction was basically one of, oh my god, Rillaboom isn't here. Volcanion isn't here. There's like no fire water grass at all. Obviously, the Rillaboom was going to be quite awkward with my heavy ground coverage, so I was very happy not to see that. Surprised to see the Mega Ampharos. It kind of worries me because I didn't really know what to expect. And yeah, so if we just go into this, he leads off with the Terrakion. I lead off with the Naganadel. Wait, let me just do that again. You've already seen what happened. I'm going to be really bad with this postcom. Yeah, so I was sat here. I was really struggling with my leads. I was going to either go with the Sandaconda to get my rocks up, with the Excadrill to counter his potential Ribombee Sticky Webs lead, or the Naganavez, mainly just for the U-turn. But it also would have been nice to just fire off a Draco on anything that was slower than me. He leads off with the Terrakion. I was thinking chances are he is Scarfed, but I did the calcs and the Draco Meteor was a one-hit KO. And I just didn't want to pass up that opportunity. As you saw, I'm just going to move this down to slow. Yeah, the Zen Headbutt came in, he outsped, but he didn't get the flinch, and I got the Draco Meteor, which unfortunately missed. And I was, obviously my opponent there says that's not a good turn one, I absolutely agree. Very unfortunate there. But anyway, I switched out into the Clefable because I knew it was Scarf and I knew Zen Headbutt would be doing nothing. At this point, I'm thinking, right, I'm going to do that really slow. Probably change that. I was like, he swaps out. I get a free. I hate postcoms. I get a free Calm Mind. I also knew that because I outspeed the Slowbro, I was going to get 2 free Calm Minds, which meant that the incoming Sludge Bomb was only going to do like 30 to 40%, something like that. After 2 Calm Minds, the incoming Sludge Bomb is not a 2-hit KO. So I was safe to get a second Calm Mind up here because I knew I'd outspeed. And then there we go. He actually went for the Shell Sidearm, which is actually no, sorry, he went for the Substitute, which concerned me a little bit. I think here I go for the Thunderbolt just to break the sub. And this is when he goes for the Shell Sidearm over the Sludge Bomb. Shell Sidearm is physical or special, depending on which side would do more damage. And because I've got my special defense up, it turns into a physical move for him. So getting more Calm Minds up doesn't benefit me in a defensive sense. So knowing that, I know that I'm going to be stuck at 2 Calm Minds. I go for the Thunderbolt, and I think that he goes the Shell Sidearm. This is just a little bit of back and forth now, because I know that barring any crits, I can beat the Slowbro one-on-one. I can soft boiled up when I need to, as I do here, just to keep my HP at a good level. Not just to take out the Slowbro, but also to stop anything else that wants to come in. And yeah, at this point we are just sort of soft boiling up, Calm Minding up. At this point, I am thinking I could sweep. He's got a lot of special base Pokemon, and his Terrakion cannot one-hit KO me. So I am thinking I'm going to take out a couple Pokemon here at the very least, if not sweep. Yeah, it's going to sit through this. I could speed it up, but I don't want to mess with the speeds too much. So yeah, Shell Sidearms. I was very fortunate that I didn't get critted in any sense. Obviously a poison chance wouldn't have affected me because I am Magic God. Anyway, we took out the Galarian Slowbro, and I was quite happy with that. And at this point, what does he do? He goes back into the Terrakion. Just going to pause there. I did the calcs for Poison Jab and Iron Head. They're both base 80, so they both do the same. I know that I'm living 1, and Moonblast obviously KOs. Actually, I don't think I went for the Moonblast. I think I went for the Soft Boiled here. Just in case he didn't have the Iron Head, it would get me up to a really good level of HP. There was no reason not to. Like, if the Iron Head was to flinch, it doesn't make any difference if I go for the Soft Boiled or the Moonblast, because obviously I'm going to die the next turn anyway. So Soft Boiled was just a little bit of a safer play, just for a bit more longevity. I know that he can't sub or set up or anything, so I know that he's choiced. So yeah, he goes for the Iron Head and I go for the Soft Boiled, but wait, he flinches, and at that point I'm not tilting, I am just shaking my head a lot. I think it's very unfortunate to miss the Draco Meteor turn 1 and then also to what's the train for there? To miss the Draco Meteor turn 1 and then also to get the Iron Head flinch. I think that was quite unfortunate for me. I never want to sort of like shout hacks or anything, so I tried very hard to compose myself quite quickly, but those thoughts obviously were there. I'm also thinking here, I know that he's going to go for another Iron Head. Like, he could predict my switch, but that'd be very dangerous for him, because if I was to stay in, I've still got a Clefable set up to sweep here. So I know that he's going to go for the other Iron Head, which gives me essentially a safe switch into the Excadrill. Obviously, I was saying in the Teambuilder, I've got the Substitute and the Swords Dance, so I was trying to toss up which one I'm going to go for. Ended up going for the Substitute. He gets the Iron Head in. He switches out into the Palisand as I get the sub up. At this point, I'm doing my calcs on a fully physically defensive Palisand, and High Horsepower does about 30 to 40%, I think. So I'm like, well, it's not worth me getting the Swords Dance up, because I'm not going to one-hit KO me and then he'll kill me with the Scorching Sands. So I do just go for the, I don't reveal the Swords Dance, I just go for the High Horsepower, just to get a bit of damage off. That damage is way more than I thought it was. I calced it, this thing's a specially defensive Palisand. Worth bearing in mind, he's got the Shadow Ball as well. Breaks the sub, that's absolutely fine. What do? I switch into the Mantine here, because Mantine can eat up any special hit, and I can get a Toxic off on this thing as well. Obviously, Shadow Ball does absolutely nothing as expected. I think we trade Toxics here. At this point, I'm thinking, God damn, I should have left the Aromatherapy on the Vileplume. But also, toxicking this thing, it is quite nice. I've got plenty of bulk on my team. He doesn't have as much on his, so getting one of his walls toxic is quite nice. I go into the Vileplume, he goes into the Porygon, and at this point, I'm like, maybe I don't regret getting rid of the Aromatherapy, because I can go for the Corrosive Gas. I was expecting like an Ice Beam or something to come in, which it does. It does nearly 50%. Fortunately, it's not a 2-hit KO, and I just get rid of the Eviolite here. I'm like, I don't really have a switch in at this point. Like, Mantine could do, but it's toxic. I can't remember what I do here. I think I stay in, actually, and set up a Leech Seed on this thing, which is probably a little bit foolish, because I wanted to keep my Vileplume up at health. But I just thought, yeah, I'll make a switch that comes in just a little bit safer. And I believe at this point I do go back out into the Mantine. Yes, I do. Ice Beam obviously does absolutely nothing to me. Even the Tri-Attack at this point is not doing too much. And the Leech Seed takes me back up there. So at this point, so I paused the wrong point there, you see that he brings out the Palisand. I just go for the safe Toxic. Probably should have gone for the Scald. So I knew there was a chance that Palisand was coming back out, but I wanted to get the Toxic off on the Porygon. Also, I was thinking if he switches into anything else, a Toxic is always nice. Unfortunately, it did land on the Palisand, which was already done. At this point, I realised, because I was avoiding using the Scald because I thought the Water Compaction gave Palisand a Water Immunity. It doesn't. It ups its defense if it gets hit by a Water-type move, but it still gets the damage as well. It doesn't work like a Lightning Rod. So yeah, at that point, I think he goes for the Protect, which works for me because it just racks up his toxic damage, because Scald was only like an 80% chance of killing or something at that range. After this toxic damage, obviously Scald does KO, so I just get a free Scald off here. And now he switches back into the Porygon 2. This was a really good play. Porygon 2 traces the Water Absorb back up to full. At that point, I just held my hands up. I think I might have even applauded. I was like, yeah, fair play. That's a good move. At this point, I just roost, just scout out, see what he's going to do. He's got the discharge. I start freaking out because a discharge only does 19%. I did later realise it was obviously because I roosted up. So it's only going to be 2 times super effective, not 4 times. But still, a super effective move from a Porygon doing 19%. I remember I said at the time, I was like, people in this league judged me for picking up Mantine. I really hope that I'm proving them wrong, because Mantine's special bulk is absolutely astronomical. Anyway, I go out into Sandaconda here because I am thinking at that point he does have me in a bit of a rut. He's got me banged for rights just a little bit, in the sense that he now has the momentum. I can't 1v1 it with Mantine, not with the toxic damage especially, and nothing wants to switch into an Ice Beam. I go into the Polycobra just because I am thinking at this point, if I can get the Sand Spit up, then I can bring an Excadrill. Maybe not sweep, but just get some kind of momentum back in my favour. So that's what I do, and he doubles out into the Palisand, which is a little bit annoying. Now, this is one of my favourite turns. My opponent Clockwork has said afterwards that he laughed at this point as well. I was laughing. This Palisand, I was really trying to figure out what item it had. I was thinking maybe it has no item to counter the Poltergeist Mega Banette. Something that I should also mention. I did mention it in the battle at this point as well. Obviously, the DLC, the Crown Tundra DLC, has come out. Turns out that there was a couple of mistakes with the leaks, and Mega Banette does not get Poltergeist, so I cannot use Poltergeist in any battle from here on out. But I was thinking maybe my opponent doesn't realise that. Maybe he's brought no item Palisand to counter the Mega Banette, which would be a really good shout. I was just thinking this because I hadn't seen the leftovers. Anyway, he reveals his item. He eats the Custap Berry, and I'm thinking, oh god, what's going to happen? Protect. Amazing. Amazing. He had the Custap Berry Destiny Bond, which would have been terrifying. But unfortunately for him, it activated on the Protect instead, which is just an unfortunate thing about Pokemon. I wouldn't have thought that it would do that, so he could have taken out my Polycobra then with the Destiny Bond, and that would have been awful. At this point, I'm not even thinking about Destiny Bond, I'm just thinking this thing dies to Toxic anyway, unless it Shore-Ups. And even if it Shore-Ups, I've got plenty of answers to it, so I'm not too fussed about that. I think the more important thing for me right now is to get up my Stealth Rocks, which I do, and then he goes for the Destiny Bond, so that's 2 turns. Absolutely did not work for him. He messed up his Custap Berry, and he messed up his Destiny Bond, and I got my Rocks up, so I feel bad for my opponent there. At this point, very important thing to note that I didn't, Porygon 2 traces Sandspit. That will come back to bite me, because at this point I know that he's going to go for the Ice Beam, and this is when I'm thinking, right, if I get the Sandstorm up, Excadrill can do some real damage. I think I calculate. I think High Horsepower unboosted does about 50 to 60% to Porygon, so I just know that I need to get Porygon below the 60% range, and Excadrill can sweep with 8 turns of Sandstorm. So at this point, I just know that I need to get the Polycobra basically dead, so I can get up the free Sandstorm. I know that he's going to go for the Ice Beam. I just go for the High Horsepower to get some damage off. I see that damage, 51%. I'm like, that is brilliant, because that means that Excadrill can just come in and kill it. And I activate the Sandspit. I clocked onto the fact that I'd activated it. I didn't clock on. Well, I clocked onto the fact, sorry, that the Porygon activated it when I hit it. I didn't clock onto the fact that that would mean the Smooth Rock doesn't matter, which comes into play later. Anyway, he goes to the Ice Beam, as expected. I leave this thing in, hoping that he's going to go for another Ice Beam, knock me out, and let the Excadrill come in for free. So I go with High Horsepower, obviously doesn't KO. He goes for the Recover here, which I was thinking, oh god, he can just wear out my High Horsepower, my Sandstorm turns, unless I get a crit on the High Horsepower. So now I'm thinking, do I predict another Recover, and do I just go straight out into the Excadrill? But I know that if he gets a Recover up, he'll be at 100%, and I can't one-hit KO, and then he'll do heavy damage to me. At this point, I think I keep Polycobra in, just hoping for a crit, or just some kind of hacks would be quite nice. But no, he actually goes for the Ice Beam. He should have recovered here and stalled out my Sandstorm turns. I think that's a bit of a misplay on his part. It's probably a misplay on my part in the long run to let Sandaconda die at that point, because it is still viable, but I did need to get Excadrill in for free, which I do. And yeah, at this point, Iron Head, because it's a bit more accurate than High Horsepower, absolutely kills. And at this point, I'm thinking, right, I outspeed Terrakion. I did the maths. Excadrill at double speed outspeeds a Scarf Terrakion. Obviously, I outspeed the Mega Ampharos and the Ribombee. I one-hit KO everything. And here, I'm thinking, right, I've got 5 turns of Sandstorm left, right? Because it's not 2, because the Porygon didn't activate it. I activated it, so I've got 5 turns, right? So at this point, I'm just chatting to myself, I'm like, yeah, I've won this game. GG to my opponent. Ampharos comes in. I would like to ask my opponent. I don't know if he realised that the Sandstorm was going to end either. But either way, he just sacks off the Mega Ampharos. Yeah, high horsepower hits, obviously, and kills the Ampharos. So at this point, I'm like, yeah, I've won. Oh, what? Oh, what? Because I'm just like, why is that Sandstorm ended? And I started freaking out. And I was like, what happened? Did I not put the Smooth Rock on? And I double checked and I put the Smooth Rock on. And I was like, why did that happen? Then I scrolled back up and I saw the Porygon activated the Sand Spit, and I was fuming. At this point, Ribombee outspeeds my entire team, and Terrakion outspeeds my entire team. And my Clefable, Vileplume, Naganadel are all low health. Mantine is toxic. At this point, I am a little bit tilted because I realise that I've gone from a winning position to a losing position. From this turn onwards, my opponent has the game. All I'm thinking is I don't want Ribombee to get up a free sticky webs, so I think I stay in at this point. Terrakion can sweep my entire team, but because it's choiced, the only moves it can go for are Close Combat or Stone Edge. Close Combat doesn't kill the Mantine at this range, and so I can claw it back from that point. Stone Edge doesn't kill the Excadrill at that point, at this point, so I can claw it back. So whichever move he locks himself into, I need to keep Excadrill and Mantine alive so that one can counter the move that doesn't KO it, if that makes sense. I calced Ribombee. Even at choice specs, its Moonblasts or Bug Buzzes only do about 29%. I should say the Terrakion's Stone Edge does about 15 to 20% to Excadrill. So all I know is that I need to take out this Ribombee and stay at above 20% health, if that all makes sense. That's the scenario I'm in right now. Ribombee can only take me down to about 30% with the Moonblast. So I know I'm safe to go for the Iron Head, just in case he decides to get a Sticky Web up, do a Quiver Dance, don't even know if this thing gets it. Just, if he pulls any kind of shenanigans like that, I need to stay in and make sure this Ribombee dies, right? Let's press play. Yeah, he's got Hidden Power Fire, he knocks me out. At this point, if I wasn't tilted before, I sure as hell am now, because my only counter to both these mons is dead. And so now, and my only counter, I should say, to the Stone Edge, the Choice Scarf Stone Edge from Terrakion, my only counter to that is dead. So, go out into Mantine. I think I've Roost up just to get up some HP, right? Oh no, I scalded. No, that was it. I scalded, because at this point, let's just go back a turn. Not that far back. Not that far back. This turn. Yeah, at this point I'm thinking, let's just try and get some damage off. If I can defeat the Ribombee, I was like, I've lost, but let's try and make it a 1-0 as opposed to a 2-0. This thing isn't going to do much to me. I didn't suspect this thing was choiced at all. So I thought like Moonblast, Psychic, whatever was going to come in. I was like, yeah, if I can take out the Ribombee and lose 1-0 as opposed to 2-0, it's a bit more respectable. It's better for differentials in the league. And he switches out, and I'm thinking, do I get the burn on the Scald? I don't get the burn on the Scald, but that was really risky on his part. But now I'm thinking, okay, yeah. He locks himself into Stone Edge, obviously kills the Mantine, kills the Naganadel that's only at 20%, kills the Clefable that's at like 25%, and kills the Vileplume that's at like 33%. So at this point I'm just thinking, I've just got to hope that Stone Edge misses, right? That's the only way that I win, is if Stone Edge misses. Obviously keep Mr. A in because why not? And the Rock Blast comes in, and I'm like, huh, that does less damage than Stone Edge, and it's a roll on hits. So at this point, I think with Vileplume, I calculate best case scenario for everything. I think that 3 hits kills me, but I think that 2 hits I can live. So I'm thinking he's still absolutely got this in the bag, but if there's a chance that he only hits twice, I can strength sap, get myself back up to health, get him at a -1 attack, and maybe I can do something. He switches out again. I don't understand why. If he would have hit Rock Blast then and hit more than twice, which is, chances are he will, if he hits Rock Blast there, he wins. So there's a few turns here in which he plays very cautiously on turns that he should have, been a bit more assertive, been a bit more aggressive, and taken the W. So yeah, I get the strength sap off on the Rabombi, which gets me up to a little bit more health, but it doesn't really bother me that much. At this point, I don't Sludge Bomb. Why do I not Sludge Bomb? Who knows? I go for the Leech Seed. I think I was still tilted at this point. So I think these last few turns, he does Bug Buzz, does a lot of damage to me. If I would have got the Sludge Bomb off here, I'm golden. But no, I go for the Leech Seed, and I don't know why. Yeah, these last few turns, like I said, that he had a few turns when he could have taken me out. I had a few turns like that when I think I was tilted to all hell, and I think that he was playing too cautiously. So neither of us want this battle at this point. I can't remember what I do here. He switches out again, even though his Bug Buzz could have killed me, and I think I go for the Sludge Bomb at this point. That's another move. Why didn't he go for the Bug Buzz? I don't understand. I don't understand why he didn't go for the Bug Buzz, unless he predicted like a Protect or something on my part. But like, if it had Bug Buzzed, he kills the Vileplume. Terrakion comes in, Rock Blasts everything. It was another move that I was at this point. I'm like, is there a chance? Is there something? Oh, I don't want to keep this with me. This is getting tense. So yeah, at this point, I believe I go for the Strength Sap just in case he does misplay. I can't quite remember. Yeah, I guess the Rock Blast. He gets 3 hits. One of them's a crit. So hacks are working in his favour. It didn't really bother me that much because I cannot stress at this point I still thought I'd lost. So I was not phased by that crit at all. At this point, this is the key match. The key matchup. I do my damage calc. I think that 3 hits kills me, but I think I just about survived 2 hits. And I'm thinking, do I go for the Moonblast? No, because if he misses the Rock Blast or if he hits twice, I'm going to live on like 6% health or something like that. I go for the Soft Boiled. At this point, 1, 2, he only hits me twice. I get the Soft Boiled up, and at this point, I don't want to say that hacks won me the game because it's very unfortunate that he only hit twice. But I believe that he had misplayed enough to this point to almost justify me getting a bit of luck there. Also, I had earlier in the game, like the Draco Meteor miss turn 1, the Iron Head flinch on the set Clefable, stuff like that. I believe that this, and the critical hit the turn before on that Rock Blast and the Vileplume. I believe that maybe I was owed this just a little bit. It was very fortunate though. Because at this point I soft boiled up. I believe I go for another soft boiled. Because I just want to get back. I just want to get up to health now. I just want to get up to health because if I can manage to get myself to +1, the Rabombi's Bug Buzz is doing like not Bug Buzz, Moonblast is doing like 30 or 40%. I know that if I can get up to this high amount of HP and get to +1, then a Terrakion 5-hit Rock Blast and a Rabombi Moonblast cannot kill me. So at this point, don't know why. I mean, I kind of know why he switches out because I've won the game at this point. The Calm Mind seals it. He goes for the Moonblast, barring any crits. I'm absolutely fine. He does not crit. At this point, I do go for the Moonblast. And yeah, I believe that. Let's just. I'm just going to pause it when Terrakion comes in. Things are 5%. Obviously, it doesn't matter because I was going to OHKO from pretty much any range. But the Rock Blasts are doing about 10 to 12% each hit. So even if he hits 5 times, he's not killing me. All I need to hope is no crits. I had forgotten that this thing does still have Iron Head that he's revealed earlier. So at this point in the battle, I was just thinking, I was calculating the Rock Blast. I was like, okay, just, as long as he doesn't crit or anything. I completely forgot that he has the Iron Head. which he does go for. So at this point, there's a 30% chance that he flinches on the iron head and that he wins the game. It's literally, it's all down to luck. It's a 30% chance that he wins, a 70% chance that I win. What happens? He gets no flinch. He gets no flinch. I cannot believe that I clawed that battle back. I cannot believe it. I shouldn't have done. I absolutely should not have been able to claw this battle back. Yeah, not from, I think it's from like 34, 35 turns in. Things just kept going worse for me. Like when the sandstorm stopped, I was like, okay, so I've probably lost. And then the Rabombi had the hidden power fire and it just wiped out the Excadrill. I'm not going to say that I was lucky because, as I've said, there have been hacks. There have been hacks both sides of this battle. But him only hitting those 2 rock blasts at the end, I think that neither of us deserved to win the battle, I'll be completely honest, because we both misplayed a hell of a lot at the end. But my god, the tenseness at the end of that battle, absolutely amazing. I said it at the time in my live com, which is obviously destroyed now. I'll say it again. Clockwork, that was an absolutely amazing game. I don't think that either of us really showed off our skills, but from a neutral standpoint, the tension in that match towards the end, absolutely amazing. Fair play to you, good game, and yeah, that takes us to 2 wins and 1 loss for the season. Goodbye.